Hey everybody, Squirrel Dev here, back here again. And as you've seen, probably seen on the title of this video, I have a confession to make. You ready for it? I use AI, and so should you. Now, before you click off this video, I just want to explain a bit about how I use AI. I don't use it to completely write all my code and there's just not an original line in there. No. Let me show you exactly how I use AI. Let's say here's one of my projects right here. This is a paycheck calculator that I've created for pretty much me. And I'm kind of going to walk you through this conversation. So this is from my real life job. And so I tell them, hey, I want to write a paycheck calculator for a single individual. I know the tax amounts, but the number of hours and amount of pay they get is variable. And just here's an example of the paycheck. And it's like, sure, let's build a paycheck calculator in Python. And then like, well, can you calculate the tax rates? It's like, sure. It's like, you know what? I want to do this in HTML. And it's like, sure. Instead of Python, here's HTML. And pretty much this is like my first draft right here. And then what I do is I go in and I edit things. Like, it's an iterative process. Sometimes I copy paste the code into my code editor and see what it does. And if it's a desirable result, I might fine tune it a bit. If it's not so desirable, I might also fine tune it a bit, and I might go, or I might just come back to ChatGPT, for example, and say, hey, instead of gross pay, I want the number of hours and amount per hour, which is a pretty easy fix, but I mean, it's near instant with ChatGPT. So, but let's go down a bit. Like way down, because this was a really involved back and forth conversation. I actually ended up creating a single HTML file with pretty much for the federal and Arkansas state tax. Yes, I live in Arkansas. But pretty much, let's say I worked, 40 hours for the minimum wage here, which is $11 an hour. I get paid bi-weekly. I have one state exception. I get $404.72 in my next paycheck. All good and dandy. But then let's say, I want to expand this. Oh, yes, and there's another thing here. Little side tangent here. You messed up displaying the code. You're right, the code snippet was cut off and incomplete. Sometimes that has happened. But, let's scroll down here and then scroll up. I go, okay, well, here's my code right here. And sometimes I'll go, like, here's my full code. And then I want to separate the federal and Arkansas state calculations out into their own JS files. Then I want to add all 50 states to a new drop-down box. The state selected determines the JS file to use. For example, if Texas is selected, then tx.js is the JS file that's loaded. And it's like, sure, here's a directory structure. Here's index.html. Here's federal.js. Here's arkansas.js. Here's texas.js. And here's main.js. And really all that did is take out my main big monolithic code and separate it into just nice, easy to edit fragments. And that's something that ChatGPT and other code instruct centric models are better to do. But let's say, for example, there's a tedious task I want to do. like, let's say I want to add all 50 states. Can you add all 50 states to the drop-down box, please? And by the way, it has been proven that asking it as a question and appending please will actually give you a better result. I found that out. And of course, I wouldn't want to type all this by hand. I mean, would you? And this is the real power of AI. Is if you know how to code and you have a very tedious task that you have to type out by hand, then I'll give you a moment. Let me actually go ahead and see there. That's another one. There we go. Now, whenever I load up my new index.js in here, I got Alabama, I got Arkansas, I got California, I got Colorado, I got all them. So, but right now I only have like Arkansas and Texas as JS files, and I'm actually going to work on this project a bit more and make it a full-fledged paycheck calculator. Now you might be wondering, why did you go from creating private servers to a paycheck calculator? Well, first off, I wanted to be able to calculate my paycheck depending on the number of hours I worked before I get my check. And second off, the site I use to do that, Paycheck City, which is a really great site, by the way. Not sponsored, but they are really, really good at the job. It's their job to be the experts in this type of stuff. They'll be up to date and everything. Like 40 for 11, or sorry, 40 hours for 11 an hour, bi-weekly. And you see here they have like weekly 53, bi-weekly 27 for stuff like I'm guessing that's leap years, but I have one allowance from the state of Arkansas. And here they'll actually gave me the same result here, 404.72. But the reason I made my paycheck calculator instead of just relying on Paycheck City is, well, honestly, sometimes Windows sucks. And ever since I've installed Windows on this particular PC, I've been having Wi-Fi card issues. And it wasn't a problem before, but now all of a sudden it's a problem after I've reinstalled Windows. And for some reason I don't know why, but sometimes I just lose the internet connection. So for you people who I've streamed for, yeah, sorry that I couldn't stream anymore, but that is the reason my net would randomly drop. And so, but anyway, I want to be able to do this without having to click edit and then go back and change and then click recalculate again. And I also wanted an offline version. But yeah, this is just a little quick confession video. Yes, I use AI. And I believe that it is a really, really good companion to code. The keyword companion. So, for example, I've had a previous project that I did for someone else for another game, and they wanted me to create some specialized JSON files using Excel sheets and stuff. And I know Excel sheets can, or Google Doc sheets in this case, can be exported to CSVs. So I simply exported the CSV, created and took their JSON file that they had, and I had ChatGPT help me write a script for it. And I did have to go in and I had to edit some things in the script, and I had to go in and edit the CSV manually to remove some columns and rows. But overall, it was a mostly automated task through ChatGPT. The best way I can describe this is you tell it exactly what you want it to do, let it spit out its code, you review the code, make sure there are no errors, make sure there are no bugs, and then if it's good, you can include it in your project. If you know your environment, if like for example your work environment allows that, or in this case my hobby environment. Obviously, I'm okay with AI, so of course I'm going to allow myself to use AI. But yeah, that is just my general process of that's my general process of my reasoning of why I use AI, and I think you should at least give it a try. Yeah, like there, see, there. Just a random disconnect. And I know for a fact my internet still works, because on my phone, I'm still connected to Wi-Fi, and oh, actually I think this time it might have been an actual disconnect. But normally, it's just Windows fault. Um, what was I saying? I forgot my train of thought. Anyway, but yeah, that's why I use AI. I think you should give it a try. And in the future, I am thinking of doing some videos in which I ask you guys to comment down below what you would like me to see, and perhaps we could do a video of me trying out that idea. Like, for instance, oh, I don't know, someone wants me to create a paycheck calculator for their state. Then I would go ahead and, like they say, that's the comments, and then I chose that comment because I think it would be a good example to show, or because I'm personally interested, and then I'd make a video overviewing the whole process. Anyway, aside from that, just a little update on Liberated. It is good. Things are going good. I am on a bit of another code hiatus. I've burned myself out, to be honest. But I did get AuraGate working. It generates random Aura gates mazes, and I burned myself out in the middle scraping AuraGate 2. That for ArcShift, not so good. I completely borked and lost the source code. So that's part of the reason I burned myself out, is because I did not feel like rewriting source code for ArcShift again. I might write a little bit just to get up enough where I can start creating translations, possibly, because that's something I've been toying with in my head. But other than that, Um, that's just how my coach stuff was doing. Um, One last thing before I go, I am planning on creating a side channel for tech reviewing. Um, this tech reviewing stuff will more than likely be focused around development, like the development use of the tech. But to be honest, I don't have a lot of spare funds, so I can't buy all the latest and greatest tech. If you guys feel like you would want to donate to stuff like that, just let me know in the comments, and I might open up a GoFundMe or something like that. Maybe give you like a PayPal donation link or something. But yeah, other than that, this is Squirrel Dev signing out.